This is a Decision 2022 update.
Good day, everyone. I'm Kate Snow. We're coming on the air with breaking news about the midterm elections. We have updated results now from several key races, including one of the most closely watched contests for Senate in the state of Georgia. It will be, as expected, a runoff for incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock and Republican football star Herschel Walker. This was a three-party race, and because no one surpassed 50% of the vote to claim victory, that runoff will be triggered by state law, and that will be held in December. About an hour ago, NBC News called Wisconsin for Republican incumbent Ron Johnson over Democrat Mandela Barnes. So here's where that leaves us right now with the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Democrats at 48, Republicans even at 48. Meanwhile, we're waiting on Senate races that are either too early to call, or we don't have enough information to call. We've been watching Nevada. The Senate race is still too early to call. Republican candidate Adam Laxalt is in the lead there, with Democrat incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto behind. Also too early to call the Arizona Senate race. Incumbent Democrat astronaut Mark Kelly is up against Republican Blake Masters there. The state's race for governor is also too early to call in Arizona. Democrat Katie Hobbs has a slight lead over Trump-endorsed Republican Carrie Lake. Let's go to Georgia now and begin with that breaking news out of Georgia and the Senate race there. Ellison Barber is in Atlanta for us. Ellison?
Hey, Kate, I went to bed last night with both campaigns telling me that they felt good and they thought that their candidate might be able to eke out a win. This morning, both campaigns seem to be hinting at the likelihood of a runoff. Now, we know this race will head to a runoff on December 6th. The rules here in Georgia is that a candidate has to win with a majority of the vote. If no candidate receives over 50%, then the top two candidates head to a runoff in December. We will see incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock, a Democrat, and Republican Herschel Walker continue this race in the next couple of weeks. Look, we knew this was going to be a close race going into it. The campaigns were saying they expected this to be close. The polls showed this was going to be close. We were reporting that you should keep an eye out on split ticket voters, Republican-leaning voters who said they were going to support Republican Governor Brian Kemp, but then were either going to split their ticket in the Senate race or just weren't entirely sure what they were going to do. That seems to have been a factor here. The Libertarian candidate polling about 2% of the vote. When you compare Herschel Walker's totals in Republican strongholds next to Governor Kemp's returns, you see that Herschel Walker did underperform in quite a few Republican strongholds. And if you compare some of those numbers to Donald Trump in 2020, you look at a place like Chattooga County, Georgia. That's a very rural, very Republican county in northwest Georgia. Donald Trump won that with 80% of the vote in 2020. Herschel Walker was about 2% behind that. So underperforming 2 to 3% in these Republican strongholds, it seems to have had an impact for the Walker campaign here. And right now, we are going to be headed to a December runoff. Kate?
All right, Ellison, thank you. Let's go to Chief White House correspondent Kristen Welker. She's at the White House. So, Kristen, this really does matter because now we've got a runoff and potentially it will really, really matter for control of the Senate.
It could matter. It could make all of the difference, Kate. There's no doubt about that. Look, this is what the White House and, as Ellison just laid out, both campaigns have been bracing for, that this would head to a runoff. One top Biden advisor just telling me this is what we expected. We are upbeat. A runoff without Brian Kemp on the ticket helping Walker is a great shot for Warnock. So that is how they are viewing this, Kate. And this fits into the broader tone here at the White House, upbeat. They were bracing for what they feared would be a red wave. That did not happen overnight. Now, of course, they are looking at smaller gains in the House by Republicans, a chance to hold on to the Senate. So they like their chances. But again, so much is at stake here. The president's agenda, he is going to address the results at 4 p.m. today. A chance to ask him about all of this, Kate.
So 4 p.m. Eastern time, look for President Biden to speak.
Absolutely, yes. And we will be there with our questions.
We sure will. Okay, Kristen Welker, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That concludes this NBC News special report. We, of course, will have much more on this on NBC News Daily all afternoon. I'll be there. And on Nightly News with Lester Holt. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kate Snow. Have a great day.